Guy Martin is taking on 4 speed challenges that will test his skill, bravery,
what could possibly go wrong?
engineering expertise, and sheer ability to suffer.
Stop.
Maybe another 30 seconds or a minute longer, I'll pass it out.
He's already smashed the world record for tandems and won his class at the legendary Pikes Peak hill climb. Now he's taking on his most dangerous challenge yet, a life-threatening attempt to fly the world's fastest hovercraft.
Oh my God, it's just gone up in the air. We're on that very fine line. Do we take the warnings and walk away? Or do I go in there and say, have it? We're always on the lookout for something a bit different. And we found hovercrafts. Hovercrafts, I thought, I don't know much about hovercrafts, really.
The hovercraft was invented in 1959 by engineer Sir Christopher Cockerell.
Shy, deep-thinking, and so apparently unconcerned with trivial things as to have about him an air of vagueness in other people's eyes.
He'd played a part in developing World War II radar and the BBC's first broadcast equipment, and was now trying to find a way of making boats quicker. He knew water is 1,000 times more dense than air, so if a hull could be elevated clear of the water, it would greatly reduce the drag. The solution was to use a fan facing downwards producing lift and a fan pushing air backwards to provide thrust.
What was it? A boat? An aircraft? It looked like a flying saucer. Its name, the Hovercraft.
For a more controlled flight, a better seal that could adjust itself to rough surfaces was needed, so a rubber extension was added to create a cushion of air.
With the flexible skirt, Sir Christopher Cockerell's brainchild took another step forward.
The pinnacle of hovercraft design came in 1995. Bob Wint, known as Rocket Bob, was an aeronautical engineer and America's biggest hovercraft manufacturer. He took one of his machines developed at home on the banks of the Mississippi to a new speed world record.
85 point something miles an hour. British invention, but an American holds the record. So yeah, I think we need a bit of that.
Guy has never piloted a hovercraft before, so for a chance at breaking the 19-year-old record, he'll have to learn from the world's best about how to master its unique handling.
It's all part of it we're learning. This is a very, very steep learning curve.
If the craft is to stay balanced at speed, he'll have to take his body to the limit of agility and flexibility.
Okay. There's no way in the world, lass.
The machine he builds will be one of the fastest things on the water today and will need to be flown on the edge of control.
It is quick, it licks on.
Projects like this are fraught with danger.
Feel snug enough? Oh, perfect, yeah, great.
You can't think about water world records. Water world records? Yeah, without thinking about Donald Campbell. 1967, Coniston Lake, flipped in Bluebird, flipped backwards and lit the water at 300 miles an hour. They didn't find his body until 2001. And there was another British bloke, John Cobb, 1952, he ploughed, nosediving. You can see him actually going flying into the water. So I think that's a good thing to go into this attempt with a lot of respect. People have died trying to break water speed records.
So Guy's recruited a team to help him.
How's it going, lads? You all right?
Not bad, not bad.
Spot on.
There's the builder, Bill Baker.
What a boy. He is Hovercraft, really. Like, he's Mr. Hovercraft.
With 40 years' experience, nobody in Britain has made more hovercraft. This wizard of engineering supplies machinery all over the world from an unlikely-looking Warwickshire farm.
I'm quite pleased to have saved a lot of lives indirectly, where my hovercraft have been used for rescue purposes, say on the Severn Estuary or in Sweden, where people are idiots enough to go sort of skiing on the ice and fall through and things like that. So it's a funny sort of thing. You feel sort of more connected to the world because you've actually made something that is useful.
And there's the racer, Les Brand.
He's won Formula 1 races, Formula 2 races, he's been world champion. He's blunt, which is great, so everyone knows where everyone stands.
Worst case scenario is he goes skywards at 80 mile an hour and guy ends up falling out the back of it. That's the worst thing that can happen.
The current fastest hovercraft are Formula 1 racers. It's down to Bill to use his years of unrivaled experience to turn one into a record-breaking design.
So, but what are the main differences for the craft that we're going to go for the record attempt to a standard Formula 1 craft?
Well, this is a standard Formula 1 craft and it's very effective, probably up to 60 mile an hour without too much trouble. But at that sort of speed, they begin to fly.
Right.
Because the air gets underneath. What we're going to do is, in a sense, the same thing, but longer.
How much longer?
Probably about an extra metre and a bit in the middle of it.
Surely I thought, you know, the shorter is lighter, so it'd be faster. Now, why longer?
Yeah, well, as you can appreciate, a short craft will change direction very quickly. A longer craft, for the same angle, it can go a long way further up before it actually becomes an issue for stability.
Be a bit more predictable.
A bit more predictable, yes. And then we're going to put a much bigger duct on the back here, much bigger fan on the back, bigger diameter.
Yes.
So that you've got much more welly being generated
Yes.
and more efficiently generated. This particular duct will be about 1.25 metres, whereas the racing craft is about 1.1 normally. And hopefully that'll give us about 25% more thrust for the same amount of horsepower as you'd get on a Formula 1.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
It's an idea, isn't it?
But let's get cracking.
There are just 2 months before the record attempt is scheduled to take place at Loch Ken, near Dumfries. And while Bill starts the build, Guy has to learn how to pilot a hovercraft. So he heads for a lesson with the British military elite. The Royal Marines have used hovercraft everywhere from the glaciers of Norway to the marshlands of southern Iraq. They've agreed to teach Guy how to use one of their so-called LCACs, the landing craft air cushion.
That's fairly light, that's all aluminium.
Yeah, these are basically all watertight compartments that keep us floating.
All the flitching and the welding in there, that's a lot of work gone into that.
Hovercraft Commander Corporal Gavin Smith joins Guy's team as driving instructor.
Like a bloody assault course, that, isn't it? Yeah.
The British military have got 4 hovercraft, 4 of these, and they're all with the Royal Marines, 539 Assault Squadron.
Oh, is that right?
Which is obviously what I'm part of. And £1 million a pop.
Is that what they are? They weigh over 10 tonne, they've nearly 600 horsepower, all limited to 45 knots.
Which is 51 miles an hour. But it doesn't sound a lot, but it's the fastest craft we've got in the Royal Marines.
Is that right?
Yeah. You can use this as a CASEVAC platform, basically casualty extraction.
Yeah.
So if you've got any casualties, you're not waiting out in the water like some of the boats are out there, wading up to your waist, carrying a stretcher. This will come straight up right next to them, pick them up, get them on, turn, burn, straight away, out, back to the platform that you've come from.
No messing.
Right, if you want to jump in the pilot seat.
The pilot seat?
Yeah, you're a pilot on these, you're not a driver. Pilot. Come up under power a little bit. Start steering, try and keep it straight as it's going down.
Hovercraft are said to be flown because controlling one is more like being in charge of an aircraft than a boat.
A little bit more power. That's it, start steering in to the left a little bit.
Learning to fly a hovercraft is the most technical amphibious vehicle course a Marine can do, and it takes nearly a year to get to command level. But Gavin is confident in Guy's ability and lets him go faster than any other first-timer.
That's 40 odd miles an hour. Going for it already, aren't you?
Yeah.
You can see that's the edge of a sandbar, so we're already pushing a bit left there. A little bit of power, back and forward pitch, no dramas.
Dead smooth on the water compared to the land. So much smoother and faster. I think I took to it like a duck, maybe.
Start bringing it round to the right. There you go. That's it. And then back onto the forward pitch and drop the revs quite a bit. There we go now. Beautiful. That's better than some of the trained lads' teachings, that.
I've got a good teacher, I think, mate. There's a lot to do. There is a lot. Just everything to take into account. My God.
We're up to 38, almost 39 knots over there, yeah.
That is licking on, and that's nothing. What we're going to have to do, we're going to have to at least double that.
Yeah, at least double, yeah.
Ooh.
Double and a bit more. If he carries on with driving like that, it's perfect, really, yeah. But it's having the balls to go that flat out, isn't it?
85 mile an hour in a hovercraft, I think, is going to be mind-bending.
Guy's skills have impressed, and the Marines ask him to stick around. He's going to experience how they use a hovercraft in anger.
Right, my intent is to find the Dinger Bells OP, which is the local Devonian fanatical group.
Guy will have to issue commands that direct 2 hovercraft in a beach raid.
Charlie 24 will lead with ground combat. Guy Martin is in charge of the LCATs as they move out.
First, they have to find the enemy position, then destroy it.
This is going to be a frontal assault, so momentum and tempo are going to be key.
The assault will take place at Saunton Sands in Devon, where the D-Day landings were rehearsed.
Right, gents, that's it. Happy hunting.
We get in the hovercraft, and I have to command the hovercraft into position.
2-1, this is 2-4. Are you ready?
2-1, yes, correct, we're ready to go.
2-4, roger out.
As the intensity increases, Guy fumbles his commands.
2-1, this is 2-4. Suspicious packs on the starboard side.
So we're going to give the prepare to beach to the lads. So prepare to beach. Stand by the beach.
Right, guys, what can we see? What can we see?
When pressed for information, he simply freezes.
Did not know what I was doing.
Just let him know what you see. 2 times enemy back of beach.
2 folks.
And I wasn't precise enough in what I was saying. I didn't really know what I was saying.
Boy in a quad bike. No sign of any guns.
Contact front. Get the rounds down in front. Send over there. Gunners rapid fire. Out train.
The live fire and simulated casualties make the exercise incredibly realistic.
As mad as it was so planned. Everything was planned. And whatever happened in that certain situation, there was a plan to cover that situation. It was spot on. And I think we need to go about our task in the same way.
You boys don't muck around.
Charlie, team move forward. We'll go get a stretcher.
All the bases need to be covered.
Cock on. Cheers, mate.
If we're going to go into a front plough, this and this needs to happen.
Right, Jets, pull in.
If it's going to flip backwards, this is going to happen. I mean, this might be me jumping ship. I don't know. I don't know. I need to learn. As long as it's covered.
2-1 to 2-4. Prepare to move starboard. So, yeah.
That's a lot of planning to do in not a lot of time. Here we go again. Yeah, here we go again.
Guy Martin, racer Les Bran and builder Bill Baker are trying to beat the 19-year-old hovercraft speed world record of 85 miles per hour.
Right, am I being daft? Trying to break this world record in an hovercraft. What do you think?
We're definitely in an area of non-knowledge, let's put it that way.
So it's not going to be easy?
No.
Could I die?
That's probably why nobody's done it.
You reckon because the chances of it going wrong are fairly...
I think there's a fair chance you'll learn to swim.
The American craft that set the current 85 miles per hour record weighed nearly half a ton, and that weight kept it stable. But Guy's team think a lightweight hull freshly moulded from fiberglass will be faster. Its longer than normal length should keep it stable.
How long to get it to this stage here then, lads?
Oh, about 4 days, 5 days, something like that. 4 or 5 days.
It's very fragile, so needs to be handled carefully.
What?
You all right, boy? Man down.
There's another trick up the team's sleeve. Guy's a hovercraft novice.
We need somebody without the experience of knowing what the ultimate danger can be, somebody who actually has faith in something that he knows nothing about.
The team have also increased the size of the rear fan by 25% compared to a standard craft. This should push back 25% more air and give the machine its speed. Les has donated the engines. The one for the front of the craft is attached to the fan which inflates the skirt.
What we've got here is a Westlake twin cylinder, air cooled, that's going to put the wing in the hull to lift it up. It's a military drone engine. They used to use them for target practice, shoot them out of the sky. Not many left now.
We relied on the British military not being able to actually hit them.
Your exhaust side is going to go down the outside of the hull.
This 1000cc bike engine drives the fan which will push the hovercraft along.
200 brake horsepower.
Yeah.
More than enough grunt to push this thing forward.
Yeah, it's challenging, isn't it? You're trying to use your sort of racing experience and our sort of cruising experience, and you're trying to end up with something that will do a job that we've never done before. So there's a lot taken on trust, let's put it that way.
Hovercraft need big engines to provide forward speed. But the lift engine, blowing air through a single duct under the hull, can be relatively small, no matter how heavy the craft. Bill demonstrates why with one of his other machines and an old-fashioned pressure gauge that measures inches of water displaced.
Just try and lift it up from the side.
There's 400 kilos there.
That's about 400
Yeah, I'm not
kilos.
lifting that in a hurry.
No, exactly.
Have you earned it?
Well, you hold that for a minute there, right, and I'll just start this up.
The pressure under the craft measures just over 2 inches. Even less than the pressure of a light breath.
It is quite stunning, actually.
It's because of the equation pressure equals force over area. If an area is large, you only need a small pressure to produce enough force to lift something up.
I mean, you can see why a hovercraft can actually fly over mines, you know, people, eggs, all those sort of
Yeah,
things.
it's nothing, is it? It's nothing.
Yeah.
That wasn't even, that wasn't even 2 inches.
No, no.
Like, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant.
The build is going well, but Guy needs to keep practicing his hovercraft flying. He decides the best way is going in at the deep end by borrowing a machine and entering a British Championship race taking place the following weekend. But he'll only be allowed to compete if he passes his British Hovercraft Club driving test with examiner David Palfrey.
What we're mainly looking for is control of the craft. That somebody's not just going to get in a craft and go a bit mad in it, and obviously be a danger to others.
The test comprises a number of tight manoeuvres around cones. Guy also has to demonstrate he can stop safely.
Everything went wrong. I hit every corn possible. I nearly wiped you boys out. I ran off the edge of the course.
He will have a few mishaps, but he's sorted himself out, hasn't panicked, he's still in control.
If Guy fails the test, he won't be allowed to race on Saturday.
I wouldn't trust me in a wheelbarrow. Useless. Bloody useless. I ain't got a bloody clue.
No, I think actually you did quite well there, because obviously we're limited on space. So really, to actually go in and out the cones here, you've done quite well.
There's a time and place for swearing, it's there. What a bloody pig's ear of it.
Well, Guy, I think you've demonstrated today you've good control of the craft. A few cones down, but never mind. So anyway, there you go.
Thanks very much, grand job.
Well done.
Cheers, Dave.
Congratulations, and we'll see you on Saturday.
100%, mate.
The art of flying a hovercraft is to use your body weight both to help it turn and keep it level. Unlike racing a motorbike on a solid surface, wind and waves are unpredictable and can dangerously pitch the nose into the water or lift it up to the sky. Guy needs to get used to shifting his body weight around quicker than ever before to maintain a balance. and he has an idea.
Oddball challenges require oddball skills. And to learn the oddball skills, we need to train in oddball ways. Indoor skydiving. So that's where we are, in Manchester, for a bit of indoor skydiving. We're going to give it a go. I think it's going to end in tears.
This facility, used by pro skydivers, has four 400 horsepower fans which can create a column of air rushing upwards at 150 miles per hour. Instructor Josh Bennett shows how subtle changes in positioning create dramatic changes in direction. It's a perfect place for Guy to test his reactions.
I'm looking forward to this.
If he can stay level here, he should be able to control the lightweight hovercraft at record speed with the right sort of fast and subtle movements.
I need an haircut, don't I? I need an haircut, sorry.
The fans are started, and instructor Josh prepares Guy for flight. To begin with, Guy is unable to fine-tune his body position quickly enough to stay level. But he learns fast, and sensing when he's out of balance makes the right corrective movement.
Doing well, yeah. Doing well. He's getting the turns quite well, actually, now. He was really strong when we first went. He was too hunched over, but now he's moving a lot more fluently. You're noticing sort of when it's going out of control, and you go back to being nice and relaxed, and then you go again.
In less than an hour, Guy has mastered the basics and can control his flight in the face of 100 miles per hour wind. To celebrate, Josh takes him for a ride.
Go put it in. Mega. Mega. It's good, dude. Very good.
You're right for the hovercraft.
Caused me no problems, no problems.
Oh, that's real. Yeah. Spot on. Shown me how important body position is. And just to get me sort of calibrated to how little body position makes such a big difference. That's the thing. That's the thing. Whatever, it's been mega to do it. It's been mega. Loved it. Loved it.
Guy has no idea, but the skills he has just practiced here will prove vital during his record attempt.
Oh my God, it's just gone up in here. Oh, no.
Guy Martin is trying to break the hovercraft speed world record.
Oh, fantastic, we've made a mistake.
And his training continues at a British Hovercraft Club event in Southampton.
Welcome to round 5, going warily. Hope we're all okay. Made it down safely.
There are 72 amateur competitors here.
219 now goes through, 1 lap to go.
And he is the least experienced by some margin.
I can always tell when I'm nervous because my hands automatically do that.
Guy's mentor Les is on hand to offer support.
Yeah, you got enough confidence in my ability?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fast learner. You picked it up. You've done better than most, to be fair.
The day starts with a practice session. Guy is using the borrowed machine he took his test in and is apprehensive.
I think there isn't a word to explain, just a facial expression. That's the only, there isn't a word, just a facial expression. And that is...
The course is a mile long through a public park with a short section across a pond.
You could see the first 2 laps were sort of slow because he's not been around the course at all. And then he started to wind it in a bit and pick up a bit of speed, and the lines were getting better.
This is just a 500cc Formula 2 machine, much slower than the craft being built for the record. It's still a handful.
It happens, doesn't it? It happens.
And that's not the only crash. There are accidents in almost every session.
Mistake there on the water. He's lost his lift engine at the moment.
The pilot's all right. He's on the back. He's waving to the crowd. All right, mate. What happened there? Driver error. Driver error.
One pilot is thrown from his craft, but luckily sustains no serious injuries.
They're getting in the wind, the wrong direction, they're flipping over, they're getting chucked out. They had a spinal board out, blue lights flashing everywhere with the DDARs. Hey? Doing what? 30 mile an hour? 40 at the best? And they're getting it wrong. Experienced hovercrafters. So what am I going to do?
It's Guy's turn to race. With no qualifying, the grid is decided on a first-come, first-served basis. He lines up on the front row.
All the lights went out. Full throttle on the lift, full throttle on the thrust. And then it conked out. And then I worked out that if you had the engine on full throttle, it would conk out, but on half throttle, it was all right.
So that's what he did. But he did sort of 2 laps on half lift throttle, so every time he jumped into the water, he wasn't really on full hover.
And I did a massive nose plow and broke the front of the hovercraft off.
Of course, it turned him into the bushes, and that's why we're where we're at now.
We've been riveting and plating and riveting and plating. It's been character building, that's what it's been. It's been character building. And hopefully, when we get to our lock in Scotland, everything will go swimmingly, because we've had all the bad luck now. That's what we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that, but you're laughing. You don't think that's going to happen, do you? And genuinely, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
With his confidence low, Guy decides to hunt down a hovercraft pioneer for some inspiration. The world's most famous explorer, Sir Ranulph Fiennes.
First man to do the North Pole and the South Pole self-supported. Summited Everest at 65. He fathered a child at 66. Still got lead in the pencil then. And he did this at the age of 24. Went from one end of the Nile to the other in a hovercraft. So quite a handy man to have a word with. North Pole, nothing, trying to find his bloody house.
The 4,000-mile journey took place in 1969 and was one of Fiennes' first expeditions. He and his team used 2 hovercrafts to travel from Cairo to Lake Victoria.
Why hovercraft? What's the big plus point of the hovercraft? Why ever go on a hovercraft?
Because of all the floating muck on the Nile, which is basically called water hyacinth. It's like floating cabbage. Anything with a propeller would get totally stuck.
Ranulph's hovercraft did 10 miles per hour. Guy wants to do 100.
100 miles an hour?
100 miles an hour. But like, really, come on, we're going to break it. We don't want to break it by a bit. We want to smash it, really. I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
It's possible, but statistically, there's no way you are going to do nearly 15 miles an hour faster when it's taken 50 years to get to 85 point something.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the history of the advances in speed.
Yeah, which is, yeah, that's, yeah.
You know, they're sort of sips, not gulps like what you're talking about.
That's a good way of putting it. You're dealing with the facts, but we like a challenge, don't we, boys? We like a challenge. But I think you're pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you've got to do.
Have you got any words of wisdom?
All I know is that you have to have an answer in your head ready to deal with the wimpish voice that's trying to tell you to stop.
Yeah,
and you need that ready, okay?
Yes.
To have your mental fight. And I just imagine that the 2 blokes I respect most are actually watching, and I don't want to do something to let them down.
Yes.
That's my dad and my granddad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ever meet either of them because they were dead, but I got brought up on stories about them. Does that sort of give you a rough idea?
Yeah.
I don't want to be pessimistic, but I would bet 10 quid you do not get to 100 miles an hour.
Right. £10. I'm going to hold you to that.
Right. I'm going to hold you to it.
Back at the workshop, Guy helps Les and Bill's son Rupert with the final jobs.
That off to that length.
They make some rudders out of fiberglass.
It's starting to take shape. We're building something, which is great. Look, there you go. The rudder's on.
And then Guy tries to help Rupert sew the 30 rubber segments needed for the hovercraft skirt.
I think I've jammed it again, mate.
Slowly.
I've gone off the edge of it.
Put your thread back in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm making a pig's ear.
There's one more thing to test. Because the hovercraft is controlled by shifting body weight around, Guy wants to see if the strength of his core muscles is up to the job.
Now then, Martina.
Hi, Guy.
I'm pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Keep your back straight.
And one of the most effective tests is hot yoga.
Plank.
Yes.
And up, slightly bend the knees.
Martina Nesbadova has worked with Premier League footballers and professional golfers.
Inhale, go deep down. So it's very important, strong core, keep the posture. Motorbicycle, golf, skiing, every single sport, good core, you'll be good in any kind of sport.
Bloody hell.
The room's 30-degree heat means the muscles can be worked hard with less chance of injury. It also makes the workout a feat of endurance.
I'm leaking, boys. I'm leaking. All I knew about yoga was my mum's yoga video on the telly, which I thought you'd just think, wouldn't you? What's all that about?
And stay as long as time as you can.
But no, I'm holding my hands up. It's not easy, it's not easy, it's not easy.
That's it.
Martina puts Guy into a position similar to a press-up.
That's great.
What do you call it, lass?
Chaturanga.
Chaturanga. Chaturanga.
It's the ultimate test of core strength.
Yeah, let it burn, that's nice.
And most people can only hold it for 5 breaths.
That's absolutely great. A little bit more. And he just achieved 2 minutes, what is really good. Your upper body and core and back is strong. That's good. Use every single fingertips.
I was shaking, I couldn't feel my arms.
Hips a little bit higher. And rest. Well done. Careful.
Oh dear, my bloody arms are dead. Jeez, man up, man up.
Do you need cover?
I'm all right, man.
He's learning fast. You know, people who does the sport learn very quickly. You see that he got determination, so that's really good. Push your hips up.
Well, to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm jiggered. I'm jiggered. Does what you've seen today, do you think that bodes well for our hovercraft attempt?
You will do it because your core is great.
Yeah?
You just need a little bit improve, you know.
Martina.
Check one.
Thank you. You do it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Guy's hovercraft is ready to be tried on water for the first time. This Peak District reservoir is one of the biggest in England, and the team arranged to meet at dawn to take advantage of the calmest water.
We're in Derbyshire, Carsington Water. You set the mickey out when I said that. Carsington. It's not, it's Carsington Water, that's what it is. We're here to test the hovercraft before we go to Scotland. Yeah, the boys have been busy. Very busy. It's looking the part. Come and have a look, come and have a look, come and have a look, come and have a look. Engine's all in place, got the net on it, just in case it goes wrong. If I'm going to crash, I'm going to bounce into that rather than bounce into the back of the fan housing. Throttle for the main thrust engine, you see, turning the throttle there. Handlebars, which is altering the rudders. And then this is altering the elevator. You see it moving. If I feel that the front is ploughing, I do that. So the wind hits the elevator, pushing the back of the craft down and pulling the front out of the water, hopefully getting me out of the plough situation. Hopefully that'll get us out of jail.
So far, the completed craft has only been started once at Bill's farm, but the engine's record-breaking potential was obvious.
We tried it in the field. It was prodigious, I think.
Is that the word?
I think that was the word.
I don't know. I don't know that. What's prodigious?
No,
what's
no.
prodigious mean? What's it mean? A what? A lot? I've never heard that word before. Yeah, it's prodigious. Yeah. No, it's right fast, mate. It went like buggery.
Exactly.
Come on, let's get cracking.
Come on, Rupert, let's see what happens.
Prodigiously fast, you daft bugger.
It's essential that Guy spends as much time on the water as possible. It's his only chance to get comfortable with the machine prior to next week's record attempt.
Yeah, a bit nervous. Ready?
Good luck.
Guy starts slowly. Even at 30 miles per hour, the nose is out of the water, so it's obvious the team will have to add weight up front. Then disaster strikes. A blade on the lift fan under the cowling in front of Guy fractures after hitting debris and is spat out.
He made a right bang, and I thought, what was that? And he still kept running all right, everything was all right. And I thought, oh, that didn't feel quite right.
And the problem doesn't stop there.
And then it went kaboom a couple of minutes later, but kaboom, really. It smashed all the dash, bits of blade everywhere.
While spinning at 4,000 revs per minute, the fractured blades violently disintegrated, strafing either side of Guy's helmet.
Bloody hell, did it go with a bang? I went down there and it went with a big bang, and I thought, ooh, that don't feel very right. I'll idle back. Anyway, kaboom. All the blades have come off the, what's it called?
And you got hit?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Where did it hit you?
Just on the hand. I'm all right, I'm all right. Well, we started towing it back, and then it started sinking. Oh, disaster. Oh, no. I think you're better off going round there in the back, mate. Oh, no. Oh. We're here to do what it's done, really, is sort out the teething troubles. I'm always a glass half full, man, and if that was going to happen, it was better off it happening here than it happening in Scotland. But really, we've not really done a run, have we? Not really today. So today's wasted. There's a massive amount of work to do.
Well, I'm disappointed for Guy, really, because experience is only gained by doing the job, and his experience has been, foreshortened. And another couple of hours with him pottering around and enjoying himself would have given him a lot more confidence.
But every time I get in Hovercraft, something goes wrong, doesn't it? Oh, but Winston Churchill did say, didn't he? He did say, after failure after failure after failure, you still don't lose enthusiasm, you'll succeed. He said something like that. Maybe waned a tad, but there's still enthusiasm. I'm still enthusiastic. You boys are still enthusiastic. Hey, I'm still enthusiastic. Yeah.
They have a week to get the submerged engine working properly again, add ballast to the nose, and fit stronger blades. There will be no time for any more practice.
Scotland in 7 days, then. That's us. See you there.
After 2 months of preparation, Guy and his hovercraft team assemble at Loch Ken in Dumfries and Galloway, a 9-mile stretch of water chosen for its calm, sheltered aspect. If he can beat 85 miles per hour, Guy will set a new world record for the fastest hovercraft. But the torrential rain and low-lying mist are preventing any early morning high-speed runs from taking place.
The weather's bloody miserable. It's not very warm. And you can see that, you can see it on the screen on the lens of the camera. Not going to be easy though, boys. We all know that, don't we? We all know that.
The whole team is here, and Corporal Gavin Smith, the first person to ever teach Guy how to fly a hovercraft, has come to help as well.
You've got quite a good background to be coming from, because with your motorbike racing and that, because you're using a lot of the same principles, using your body weight to move the craft, move around, put it forwards, put it backwards, side to side, and that's going to stand you in good stead.
That's all.
While the weather clears, the build team make their final adjustments to the craft. The paramedic on the safety team prepares as well.
We've got the luxury of knowing who the potential casualty is.
Potential casualty.
He takes the opportunity to measure up a collar to be used in the event of Guy sustaining a serious injury.
Feel snug enough?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, great.
Right, okay. It's easy as that.
Spot on, just like that.
The record rules dictate 2 runs in opposite directions over a flying kilometre have to be made within an hour of each other, and Marine surveyor Mike Hopkins will use a GPS system to measure the speed.
This equipment here is on a GPS clock which records to a nanosecond, which is a billionth of a second. And the position is recording to 20 millimetres every 0.05 of a second.
Lots of trepidation. It's an unknown. We're pushing our luck. On the other hand, obviously, excitement.
The time comes for Guy to make his test run. The last time he flew this machine, its blades exploded in his face. But Guy commits to trying a fast run straight away. He achieves 50 miles per hour easily, but a gust of wind from behind briefly pushes the nose into the water, creating a sudden ploughing effect. At that speed, Guy was pushed forward with such force that he snapped the handlebars in two, trying to brace himself.
That's like riding into a brick wall.
A spare set of handlebars is hurriedly manufactured out of an oar.
We're going to use this bit.
The conditions are perfect, but they won't last long. Guy has to go now for his first attempt on the record. The clock starts as he passes the yellow buoys. He keeps his throttle pinned, and although he's on the edge of taking off as he crosses the line a kilometre later, it's clearly a fast time. Guy now has to turn around and return. It's his average speed over both runs that counts, so he gives it everything.
Oh my God, it's just gone up in the air. Oh, no.
Go ahead, control. Just confirm Guy is okay. Think Guy is okay.
Unbeknownst to Guy, the wind suddenly changed direction and lifted the nose at 76 miles per hour. He instantly scrambled forwards to weight the craft and stop it from completely flipping over. The craft flew 30 meters through the air. The impact on landing tore the rear of the hull in two.
I'll leave this engine going. I've turned that one off. Okay. So you told me at your speed.
The full extent of the damage is unknown.
Honestly, that moment there when it went up, there was no big rattles and bangs. And then it smashed down on the water. I smashed the dashboard.
Yeah, it looks a bit cheeky when you land it.
It was all right. What would you do in this situation? Would you call it a draw or hold your hands up?
I'd crack on.
Yeah, I'd say
if they can get it fixed, I'd give it another bash.
Yeah, of course you would. Of course you would. Yeah. Of course you would. I would.
This will work again. We've talked about it can go down and plough in, it can take off and go airborne. He's had both extremes. What he's got to do now is find the balance and keep it trimmed.
The team packs the craft up and are all happy to try again.
Obviously he wants this record, so he's not going to give up on a small mini crash like that, is he?
There's concern on the shore and in the craft. Guy feels that the handling has been affected by the impact.
I'm not the cleverest person in the world, but I know common sense and I know, all right, yeah, I've had a few warnings. Give it a couple of warnings. Yeah.
I got to about 50 there and it lifted. I had to shut off.
Yeah. A bit of me is screaming at me saying, get yourself back in there. We can do it, and we can. But the sensible side is saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I've been in this position loads of times with motorbikes.
Seems to go in a straight line, but it only wants to go in a straight line when you're on the throttle.
Do you try and push beyond that point? And I've pushed beyond that point. I've ended up in hospital.
you've got to be clever enough to know when enough is enough. You've got to be man enough to hold your hands up and say, yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
The team gathered to find out if they got anywhere close to the 85 miles per hour record.
You got 79.18 miles per hour out.
Yeah.
And 71.24 miles per hour in.
Yeah.
Giving you an average of 75.21 miles an hour.
It was licking on, it was licking on.
You were getting that.
75, maybe 10 miles per hour short of the world record, but it's still a UK record. It's the fastest speed ever recorded by a Brit in a hovercraft.
He's done brilliantly. I mean, to put a total novice on there and go faster than most hover club people have ever gone, you know, is both brave, stupid, and you know, very skillful, really.
When we were watching it, Les said, it's coming up, it's coming up. And then you said, fair play, he hasn't bowled it yet.
I think we've nailed it and we should hold our heads up proud, really.
The average was 75, but the top speed peaked at an astonishing 82 miles per hour.
Obviously, it's a lot faster than we could ever go in our craft. Yeah, you did well to get there. He likes to go fast, but he's not going to do anything he doesn't feel comfortable with. He's not stupid, he knows the risks.
Can't thank you enough, boys. It's been mega.
To give us the opportunity to actually push that comfort zone a little bit and let some other idiot take the take the reins was an opportunity we couldn't miss. Really.
Right, well, thank you very much. Spot on.
Yeah, plenty of old riders, plenty of bold riders, but there's not many old bold riders.
Suppose I owe Serrano fines £10 now. Bugger. You ready for action?
Yes.
Next week, Guy tries to build the world's fastest go-kart with calamitous results.
He went legit, but now back to the dark side to save his wife, Mark Wahlberg, and Kate Beckinsale smuggling contraband tonight at 10:05. But coming up, Carrie continues with her special recruitment technique. It's Homeland.